Why do our shoulders carry so much tension? It's a question which is deeply personal to me because I'm someone who is naturally prone to gathering stress and tightness right here in the upper shoulders. And at some point in my life, it got so bad that the pain would literally wake me up in the middle of the night. Later, when I started to work as an acupuncturist, I noticed that nearly all of my clients carry tension here, whether they realize it or not. And I also became aware of just how much that affects not only our posture, but our long-term spinal health, our mood and energy levels, and most of all, something much deeper and much more subtle, our mindset and approach to life. When that shoulder tension would wake me up, it didn't take me long to realize that it was never about a physical trigger. The pain usually came on at night when I was sleeping on the same mattress, not doing anything in particular. But it always happened when there was something bigger going on in my life. Whether my children were in and out of the hospital, or there were extra projects at work, or some other challenges. Now, through what I see in my clinical life as an acupuncturist, I can tell you that there is almost always more than one cause of a problem. Most people have tension here because several factors coincide. Some of these factors are more obvious and others are much more subtle. So let's first get the obvious factors out of the way. Number 1, you sit too much. When we do this the whole day, or this, because driving is also a type of sitting, only holding a wheel, which makes usually the position of our arms even worse, then it's very difficult for the body to adjust and just relax and open. Number 2, the muscles in your mid-back got weak. But I want to really emphasize that it does not mean that you are weak or unfit. That weakness of the interscapular muscles happens most often due to too much sitting, but that too much sitting could have well been in your childhood, in your years of schooling. I have personally seen this pattern among people who are runners, athletes, Chinese martial art, elite athletes, all sorts of people who are very, very fit, but their body will still have learned a certain muscle imbalance. When those muscles in the mid-back are a little bit sluggish, that upper trapezius here will overcompensate and will be much more prone to gathering tension. Now, once the body got used to a pattern where some muscles underperform and others overcompensate, it's very difficult to shift it. Just a simple exercise or going to the gym is likely not enough because the muscles that already hold tightness will be more eager to jump into action. So in effect, we need to teach the body how to work in synchrony, releasing some tensions and strengthening other areas. In my clinical practice, I have observed that almost invariably the truest and most important reason for shoulder tension lies somewhere deep in the psyche. So without further ado, let's see what Chinese medicine has to say. The meridian that passes through our tight shoulders is the Shaoyang gallbladder meridian. Gallbladder in Chinese medicine is related to courage, decisiveness, and decision-making. How interesting is that cultures so far away from one another came up with quite a similar idea, because we say in English that to have gall means to have, the courage, the oomph, the bravery to do something. This meridian is paired with a liver meridian, and liver meridian system is responsible for the free flow of all emotions, as well as processing guilt, anger, and other such difficult feelings. But because it's a yang meridian, the energy it embodies is more outward. It both governs and reflects how we hold ourselves with regards to the pressures of the outside world. And in China, a person who is very indecisive and timid is said to have a small gallbladder. So you can already appreciate that from the point of view of Chinese medicine, The best way to shift that shoulder tension pattern will be to work both on the mind and the body synchronously. If something in our mind wants us to make ourselves small, we will curl in the shoulders and hunch the back a little bit like this. Also, when we are expecting danger, the brain will send a signal to the body to protect the vital organs. So if we think about it from an evolutionary perspective, it's extremely smart and also very, very natural, because the danger would be an attack by a wild animal or maybe another human, and then we want to use those relatively strong muscular regions to protect the viscera, the lungs, the heart, the soft belly. And we have all probably done this in our lives, let's say in a situation of leaving a warm room and going out suddenly into the wind and rain or hail. We would curl up like this to keep those inner organs safe and to shield ourselves with our muscles and our shoulders. But now when the danger is no more physical, or usually not physical, why do we do this? There are 3 reasons for this that I'm going to share with you right now. The first reason, you have a lot going on in your life. You are constantly processing a lot, and you are also responsible for a lot of stuff, whether at work or at home. Now, in this case, you might not really be feeling vulnerable, but you are kind of geared for battle. And this battle is no longer physical, so the blows we are expecting are no longer physical blows, but they may be, a project going wrong, a child getting sick, not getting a promotion, getting into conflict with someone, forgetting to pay an important bill, etc., etc. It does make sense that across so many cultures we use the metaphor of someone carrying a heavy load or a heavy burden, or somebody just carrying the world on their shoulders, right? That's our whole nervous system, our whole being preparing itself for a big important battle on which a lot is riding. Now the second reason is that you are subconsciously trying to make yourself smaller and socially less visible. And this, my friends, can be different between men and women. I often see it among men who are actually tall and powerful and naturally very well built, but they may be afraid that they will come across as threatening if they really come into their full physical power. And for women, quite often that might be related to the need to kind of hide their chest a little bit. Maybe we don't feel so comfortable in our bodies. Maybe we got some nasty remarks when we were growing up because puberty hit early. So it almost a little bit mirrors that problem that some men face with fearing to appear too manly by standing straight and powerful. And the woman kind of feared to appear fully feminine by standing straight and powerful. And then finally there is the third and maybe most common factor, which is actually hidden childhood trauma. This doesn't need to always be the trauma with a big T, the one that we associate with severe abuse. It may be, but it can be something much, much more subtle, like issues of abandonment or just having times when you did not feel fully safe early on in your life. Maybe even in the babyhood. And that will imprint the brain with a very strong message that the world is not a safe place. And therefore it's better to stay hidden, and it's better to always expect danger, because there always might be danger. If at some point in your early life you didn't feel safe, your shoulders will be doing their very hardest to protect you, and all the stress from the past, but also from anything going on in your present, will now be sitting and accumulating in this Xiao-Yang meridian. I am super curious if one of these has resonated with you. I can disclose for you that for myself, actually it was the case of all 3 of them coinciding, just to different degrees, plus too much sitting. So yes, pop me in the comment which reasons you think may be underlying your shoulder tension. Both myself and my community will love to know. And if you want to try out some movements to effectively relax your shoulders, please click on the videos right here.